Bitcoin is stuck under an unstoppable force, but is being held up by an immovable object. The historical snapshot of what happens during these two clouds pinching together, Bitcoin either rips up or it rips down. There are no two other options in the previous history of Bitcoin. I want to show you that, but also for new viewers, I feel that this video is going to be extra important if you are a person who is either in the game, you have skin in the game in crypto right now, and you're thinking, shoot, is this a good time to add more, or is this time to get out before the prices go lower? Or if you are a person more like me who is more flat in the market and you're thinking, shit, is this the time to finally get exposure and get in, or should I wait more? If you are one of those people, this episode is going to be for you. If you're new, don't hit the like button until you actually like some of the content in here. But if you stick around, I am pretty damn certain that you're going to end up liking what you see. New viewers and returning viewers, go ahead and do your daily duties to help out your content creator. Let's dive in. Okay. Historically, Bitcoin, before I tell you what this is, I won't take off price. Take a look at how price behaves here. This is the 64K top, and this is the 69K top. We are focusing not so much on price. So price is not the important. What is important is what happens when this green cloud starts flipping red and touches there. When that starts flipping red and touches there, what happens? When this flips red and starts touching there, what happens? When this starts flipping red, which it did, right? If we zoom into here, look. It did flip red and was about to touch there because price was getting squeezed somewhere in here. Look, price back on, boom. See, price was between the two. It was getting pinched. But I don't want your eyes to get distracted by price. Price is more like the noise. This is really what's happening. All right? And so, historically, every single time this happens, although it could be the first time Bitcoin goes sideways, and if it does, it would be the absolute first. It is a possibility. It is not a zero chance of going sideways. But this is stating, if Bitcoin continues behaving the way it has its whole life, in this situation, this not common situation, Bitcoin has to make a choice up or down. There have been no other choices. So, does this make sense? And I'll show you how to set this up. Does that make sense? How, as price makes a choice, that this will help you front run going the right direction, is direction down or up, before it accelerates, because you're going to be able to see it like melt into these, and the candles start melting and / closing above and below. And so you should be able to make that, it'll help guide you to make an educated choice before the violence starts going. Does that make sense? But late enough to where you're not actually guessing a 50-50 coin flip. You have the probabilities on your side. You are the house. You are not a gambler. The statistical probabilities are on your side, regardless of whether it works out or not, but so on and so forth. That's all you can do when you're looking at charts and trying to guess, do I have an edge? How strong is the edge? And go from there. What I have on here, it's a little goofy, but in general, the slower moving, the green one, the thick green one, is the unmovable force, which is acting as support. That is the weekly 10 EMA and the weekly 21 EMA, the most basic weekly cross there is. But I have it on the daily chart. So in order for you to use this as a guide on the daily, because it's just easier to see both at the same time, you would use a basic EMA fill with only two options, and you would put 70 and 147 because that's equal to the weekly 10 and the weekly 21, because you multiply 10 and 21 times 7 respectively. That's what goes in. Because 1 day is 1/7 of the weekly. So if I want to make weekly time frames on the daily, I would multiply what I wanted by 7. So I want 10 and 21 times 7, so on and so forth. Okay. Also, the small cloud is the 2-day 10 and 21 EMA. So the exponential moving average for the 2-day. And so since I'm on the daily to represent that, I just multiply 10 and 21 times 2 respectively. And here we go. And as you can see, I was thinking that we have an equal choice. The main idea was my analysis shows that in this area, Bitcoin, one of the most, tied for the most likely. Why is Bitcoin up, down, or sideways? Yes. So my last analysis was you actually can't tell because Bitcoin has permission historically to behave in all three ways. And since no thresholds are totally broken right now, you actually can't tell. Which I hate giving that analysis. I hate it. But now I think I can remove the sideways option. But for new viewers, I want to show you why I had the sideways option there. Just in case I am incorrect by removing it, I want to show you why it was one of my main. I thought it was equally as probable as up and down. And you have to go to the monthly chart on Bitcoin and just throw on a simple EMA, the 10. Of the month. You can do something fancy like make it the daily 300 so it's smoother, still the monthly 10. From the 1300 top of 2013, it went down to 180, like 150 and $186, somewhere around there. Bitcoin price flew up, did some 2 or 3x off of its double bottom, a 3x almost exactly, then spent let me zoom in. Bitcoin's at a 4x this time, but it went 3x here because 2x is 100%, 3x is 200%. So 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, 6 month. So this is only half a month sideways. So half, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 months of sideways to allow that white line to catch up to price. And I thought that was just as probable. So 4 more months of sideways. I thought it was just as probable when I was trying to get my viewership, new viewers, my Discord community, my 3 tiers within the YouTube community. If you want to check that out, new folks, if you end up liking this video, there's a blue join button below. That's to check out the YouTube tiers, and the Discord links are in the description section. My Discord is not heavy on the side of selling courses or indicators. Rather, it focuses more time with me on group chats where we share our screens and turn on our videos if you want, and we are chatting voice to voice on camera, almost like a big old Zoom call. All right, so that's what the Discord's all about if you want to check it out. Now back to business. And so I thought this could easily go sideways to allow that white line to catch up before it lifts off into whatever bull market that might be. However, my current analysis says it has never ever once behaved that way when this is happening. Not once. Have I double checked what it did last time? No. So last time this happened, it was back in here, and this never even got a negative slope. So that 5 months of sideways, this had a positive slope the whole time, and it stayed green. This is the same stuff. So the situation is different. It is not as bullish as this. So Bitcoin either historically now is either going to charge up hardcore, and you're going to have targets probably closer to 6 figures before you get what's equivalent to a weekly pullback. So it could be several weeks of upside in a row, pretty big, stunning percentages potentially, if this breaks up. And so now new viewers, now let's dive in, now that we know the overall concepts of why I think this is important, because we can remove sideways, I think, hopefully. I'm removing the damn thing. No more sideways. So now let's dive into here. How can we get a heads up? Put price back on. Closures. Closures. I'm using the daily closures. So this red flipped red here. That is the unstoppable force, because typically when it flips, its price is either scooping below it to blast off, or it is going to get the trend for a long time. There are only 2 options. Particularly when you're touching this cloud, small midget cloud touches the big daddy cloud. All right. Hopefully I didn't use an insensitive term for anybody. I apologize if so. Do we have a closure here? Yesterday? Yes. So as of yesterday, I would have said, hey, Bitcoin might make a choice here soon. It might decide to break up. I had a closure, a daily closure in if I'm an altcoin person who either wants to get in because I'm not exposed enough, or I want to get more exposed, or I'm already exposed and I need to know if I keep holding or sell. At this point, since it's so close, you still can't quite tell. But if Bitcoin starts closing back in here on the daily, I would give it a 50-50. Like, the moment might happen within the next 48 hours. I might have to pull the trigger upside to my plans for a drastic move to the upside if, in the next 24 to 40 hours, but only after a closure. So since today looks like it's going to close below, if I were a person who, I don't know what to do, I know I would make the educated guess that nothing's going to happen in the next several hours. I don't need to be hyperventilating and checking my chart every few hours. It's very likely going to close a few days up here, retest one more time, and then get hot. But if it's below it, it's simply not just going to take off. That is not how this one behaves. Now, can this simply start crashing down below? It actually can. Historically, it has been able to. So if I were in a situation where I don't know what to do, this is what I would say. As of now, you can't tell if it's going to bust up or bust down. If you are in the position where you don't have to guess, you can just wait and wait for more confirmation on direction. Some of your plays you can't. What if you're already 30% down? Your altcoin has dropped 70% total, but you're only 30% on a horizontal. And if Bitcoin falls a little bit, you're going to fall off a horizontal another 50%. So you got to think now, right? for some of those people. So if you're a person who's got to think now, I would lean slightly towards preparing for more downside. I would initiate those plans if I were in that unique scenario where I pretty much have to make a choice before Bitcoin makes a choice. Does that make sense? Because if Bitcoin slides a little bit more, that altcoin could be another 20% down, like when Bitcoin's only 5% down from falling off its own version of a strong horizontal. So there are some unique scenarios where this guide does not fit your altcoin if it's in a very unique posturing. But for the vast majority of plays and the general idea of plays, I feel that this chart and the closures, so if you take time to set up this cloud and that cloud and look at the daily closures, I feel that this will help as a strong, a very accurate emotional guide that helps you get confirmation in the right direction in a timely manner. Because a lot of times confirmation happens after a third of the move's already taken off, right? Like, it's going up, but you couldn't confirm it until it's a third done. So I think that this could help you get that move very early, but with enough confirmation to have statistical probabilities on your side for that potential decision making on hitting altcoins or selling altcoins or getting more, whatever the case. However you answer that question, which type of person are you? This is going to be a great guide for you. So if you learned something or like what you saw, if it helped out a little bit, new viewers, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. And other folks, go ahead and hit the like button before you get out of here. You just got Timified Worldwide. Peace.